Here with head coach Ben Pack from Manchester, the Flying Dutchman. Coach, entering your fourth season. Past couple years when we've talked, you've got a young, pretty inexperienced team, and you show up today, more experience, kids are getting bigger, really starting to buy in the program. That comes a year after you go to the playoffs. Talk about last year's success and how that has fueled your off-season workouts this year.
Our off-season workouts have been phenomenal, and you're right. The success that you have during the season can parlay right into the off-season because it's the proof that what we're trying to do with the kids pays off, and so last year's success was well needed right where we're at.
Almost 10 players on your team have a 3.8 or above GPA. You were first team academic All-State last year. Talk about the importance of being the student and the student athlete as part of the Manchester program.
I think that's critical. I mean, we are obviously there to be a student first, and we just don't give lip service to it. We push it, and the kids that aren't cutting the mustard, in the classroom are going to come down to my office and visit. We take care of it. So all of our kids are eligible. Even the kids that are, struggling a little bit academically, they are eligible, and so they know that academics comes first.
Coach, new conference this year. Cascades Conference welcomes 4 new teams. You're going to see one of them in your first Cascades game when Homer comes to town. Talk about kind of your excitement level for the new conference and just kind of how you prepare differently if you have to at all.
I think the new conference and the way we're going to determine the conference championship is going to be a difficult road for all the teams that are trying to win a conference title, because you're going to have to win the division and then to get the opportunity to play for a conference title. And so you've got to be pretty good week in and week out. There can't be a slip up.
Let's go out to the football field. Let's talk about your team. Returning multiple starters on the offensive side. You bring back most of your skilled players. You're going to have some replacement spots on the offensive line. But just talk about your expectations for your team this year, what you expect to see offensively.
All of our kids that are going to be on the field as starters this year have been in our program for the last 3 years, if not 4. Okay, and so like I said, in 2020, we do have a couple seniors right now that we're starters on that team. And so all of our kids know of their assignments. They have been part of our program. They know what the expectations are, and not only do they know their assignment, but they know that there's a competition level. Okay, once they get on a game field, and that's different from practice field. And so that's one of our goals this year during the preseason is making sure that our team time is ramped up more than it's ever been. So when we're going live competition and practice, we've got the best 11 versus 11. And I think we're, in the springtime we thought we were at about 17 kids, and we really wanted to get up that 22. So you really have a live practice. And so we've got about 5 kids right now that we think have come along during the summer. We're anxious to find out where they're at once we get the shoulder pads on.
Let's flip the switch to the defensive side of the football. Again, bring back a large number of starters from last year's squad. Can you talk about your expectations from the defensive side, knowing that any team that wins a Cascades Conference Championship has to be strong on the defensive side?
Absolutely, without question. And those kids last year were kids that came up off the JV the year before, or they were JV kids last year that were brought up during the year. But they're very good players, and obviously very good players after another year of growth in the weight room. And I always tell kids, the football skills that you learn during the season are played throughout your mind throughout the entire off season. So even though when you're lifting weights, you're still working on football when you're sleeping, because it's embedded in your mind. And so again, we're just anxious to see those young kids. See how they can play, because our defense will still be a lot of underclassmen.
Coach, what does this team need to do to achieve your team goals of getting back to the playoffs and competing for Cascades Conference Championship?
Well, I think that competing for a conference championship is breaking it down literally to the most common denominator, and that's just one rep and one play. And we talk about what's important now. Okay, win. It's this moment in time, and that's part of the process. It's the power of one. Okay, one play, one rep. Okay, and if you're thinking about the end results, of a game or a contest, or the end results of a week, or getting through a week, then you're not focused on what's that point in time. And it's really that simple, and that's we try to stress that to our kids. And so when it even goes back into the classroom, when it's all the time to learn an algebra problem, that's the most important thing in your life right then. It's not football. And so we've harped on that for 3 years, 4 years, and so the kids understand that now. And because when we get done with our football practice, I tell those kids, you're done. Go home and relax and do what you got to do outside your life. Okay, I don't expect you to work on football or think about football. But when the whistle blows and it's practice time, all your focus should be right here.
Love it, Coach. Coach Ben Pack from the Manchester Flying Dutchman. They're going to start off the season with Whitmore Lake and then jump right into Cascades Conference play with the Homer week 2. Coach, best of luck.
Thank you. Appreciate it.